Hi crafters! I just wanted to come on and give you a little brief tutorial on One Sheet Wonders, show you some Easter cards. Today is Easter, so happy Easter. This is Trish with Creative and Calming Crafts. As some of you probably know, card making is really my favorite or most common craft that I do. I hope to show you a few different types of crafts on here, but I'll probably focus a bit on card making. So I wanted to start out first with what's called a One Sheet Wonder. So these are a few cards that I made using a One Sheet Wonder. And if you're not familiar with One Sheet Wonder, it's a way to use your pattern paper in your cards and not have any scraps left and be able to make several cards. So these four were all made with the same 6x6 sheet of pattern paper. Here's another, it's already cut up, but you can see what it would look like as a 6x6 sheet. That is the same pattern as these that we're gonna use. I'm gonna make some more simple cards today though. So let's go ahead and get started and I'll explain it a little bit more. So I have drawn out for myself this pattern, if you will, for this 6x6 One Sheet Wonder. I like doing the 6x6 because if you happen to have a 6x6 paper pad, for example, this little guy here, you can use a variety of different papers and it's a great way to use up one of those cute little 6x6 pads. It's also completely usable with a 12x12. You would your first cut would be to cut your paper down, cut it by 4 into 4 6x6 pieces. So this one, what you're gonna do if you have your 6x6 paper, your first cut is gonna be this one along here, which is at 2 inches. So you have 2 inches on both sides there. So you're gonna have a 2-inch strip. And on here, you can see that's my 2-inch strip that I've cut off. Then once you've cut that 2-inch strip off, you're gonna have a square. Your next one, you're gonna go ahead and cut 2 inches here as well. And that removes this guy. And then you have a square and this guy. Then your square, I just line it up between on my trimmer and I just cut diagonally and you end up with 2 triangles. And these are all of your pieces that you're going to use to make 4 cards. So I hold on to this, I don't cut this up. You can draw one up for yourself. I'm trying to line it up so you can see it pretty well and not doing well. Hold on. That better? Better? But you can draw that up and then I just keep this in a page protector and I just put it in my craft supplies so I have it at all times. So I have that one. I like to keep that on hand and then I can do this over and over again. So today I am using this Quirky Critters set by Stampin' Up. What I love about these, you don't have to color them. They work great with just one ink. I just did very simple black ink. And then I mounted them on some yellow cardstock that matches that yellow pattern paper, but it's just one stamp and then mounted and cut. So they have some fun little sentiments. You could color them if you wanted. You could do watercolor. You could do a lot of things with them, but they're really nice that they're simple for a newer stamper, or if you're trying to do something quickly, there's not a lot of technique necessary. I just stamped them in some black ink on white paper and then mounted it on some yellow cardstock. So really simple. So for the one that I'm going to show you that we're making, it will be the same cuts as my cute little bunny Easter ones, but we're gonna use this stamp set. Okay, So I have my 4 card bases, and with these card bases, let's go ahead and match them up. So we're gonna do one of them where, just like this little bunny, it's gonna go on the bottom here. And then one where my triangle is going to go on the top. And then, which is like this little bunny card. And then one of them, let's maybe move things over a little bit. Looks like I got a little off from my camera. So I have those two. Then one of them, like this guy, is this strip, and it's just gonna go there. And then you're gonna have one more that gets the 2 pieces like that, which is what this one had. And for this one, I had put him, long ways or tall ways, I guess. But you can mix it up, whatever works with your images. So for these, what I'm going to use are, let's see, we'll play with it a little bit. I'm thinking that guy over there. And then, oh, you know what? Might do that guy here. And then the You Snailed It over there. And then these line up and do that. And then this one, just like this. So they're really simple. These cards, I'm not gonna do much more to. I'm just gonna glue them down. This is really something that if you're trying to make a fast card would be a great project. This also would be something you could obviously embellish or do a lot more. I just like this as a really basic thing when I'm teaching someone as a beginner. I think this really simple method is a good way to teach a newbie. Doesn't require much in the way of supplies. Literally for pattern paper, 1 6x6 will work. That's great if you're doing classes. Can also be nice, and somebody can take a whole 6x6 pad of paper and make a bunch of cards. So see how simple but easy, simple but nice that is. I'd still have no problem mailing it. And then as you grow in your skills, there are so many other things you could do. You could, you could color this. You could add some embossing on here. This could be mounted, this yellow pattern paper, just like this is. In fact, I think this little one, which I'll do next, this one I typically probably would mount if I wasn't just trying to show you quickly. I think these squares, or rectangles, I guess would be the right word, of pattern paper would look much nicer if they were mounted on, you could do on black cardstock, you could do it on the same yellow that you're using. You could even do, an accent color, something fun. This little sloth, because that's what I'm using. It might be fun even to use like a brown or a green just to accent it. But it's just a really simple, low stress way to get started on cards. And especially I think that doesn't overwhelm some of our newbies with picking out pattern papers. See, that's kind of a cute, and again, I'd have no issue mailing that. It's still really fun. Even though there's obviously more you could do to it to spice it up. And I think I might do a video or maybe a few videos showing just kind of how could you then take your one sheet wonders and add to them to be able to have, you know, as you grow in your techniques and knowledge, what might you add to them to embellish and do, you know, more. These, I just did this super simple stamped image. You could also do die cuts instead of that stamped image that's mounted. You could use, for that part that's the stamped image, you could use some of the pre-cut stuff. You know, some of the paper pads come with images that are already, you know, you just, I guess not necessarily pre-cut, but they'll have like a sheet of images, the cut aparts that you just cut up, and that would work well. I love this narwhal. If you know me, you know I love ocean animals, and narwhals are just kind of fun and different. And so here's that narwhal. It says you are special. This you snailed it. I love that sentiment. I think it's really fun. Just wanted to say a quick hello with the quail. I kind of have a fun thing about quails too. When I was little, I had this one curl on my forehead that my sister said made me look like a quail. But because of that, I kind of like them. And they're native to here in Arizona, which is kind of fun too. Sorry I'm slow. Happy belated birthday. This makes me think of my friend Amanda who loves sloths. So how fun are those? And then let me just show you again this set that I did for Easter. For it, I used this Art Impressions set by, it's the artist Bonnie Krebs, and it's the Easter Bunny set. And I used these cute little bunny images, and then some of my sentiments, I had a few from, again, Art Impressions, the Easter Blessing set, which is also a really fun set, and the Art Impressions Basket of Blessing set. I actually just ordered these two. I had a few other sets. I might do a haul video soon. We'll see. And I was so blessed and fortunate that my friend Amanda, who I just mentioned, happens to do some work with Art Impressions, and she mentioned me, and they sent me this one for free. Or as a little thank you. And I just thought that was super sweet. So, I haven't really gotten around to talking about my take on giveaways and stuff, when I'm given product, but I'll try and post that sometime soon. But I really only use things that I enjoy, whether someone gives it to me or otherwise, but I adore all of these. Art Impressions are just, not only are they beautiful images, but they stamped really nice and just clear and crisp, and it was a lot of fun to use. And so one of the reasons I like to do one sheet wonders, even beyond them being really simple, is I have been playing a lot with Copic coloring. These aren't some of my best Copic colorings here today, but when you spend that much time coloring something, you know, it's sometimes you don't want to spend a whole lot of time designing the rest of the card. So it's kind of nice to just be able to color some images and then have a stack of colored images. Like I have these little guys here, which are the same ones. And then I go through once I've cut and colored them. And my way of doing them, so I color them, or I choose my pattern paper and then I color so I can make sure that it matches and always works with my pattern paper, because Copics you can make work with anything. There's always colors that you can use. So I start first with my pattern paper and then I color from there. And so I get to really focus on the colored paper, the coloring, and not have to worry a whole lot about designing the card. Now this one, if I had wanted to jazz it up, maybe I would have mounted it on pink or something else there. There's definitely more I could have done to it. I kept it really simple. Same with this. I kept it really simple. I did give a little foam to the bird that I added on there. Some of you know I don't do a lot of layers with foam on my stuff. I know a lot of people do, and I used to love that look, but I do actually mail my cards. I have made a point of, I give my cards away. They're not something I just collect. And I find that those layers can be kind of a pain when you mail. So I don't do quite as many layers, but this one does have some. Also, it has a little shimmer, has some Wink of Stella on there. I don't know that you can see that very well, but added a little touch to that bunny. And I love this sentiment: happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything. And this little guy, I just adore that bunny, and it's so fun sometimes, especially with Copics, when there's something you can just color in white. You're just using the grays for shading. I just love that. And this, so I like to say that there are opportunities for embellishments or creative detours. You know, there's never mistakes, right? In paper crafting, that's the beauty of paper crafting. If you happen to mess something up, it's really easy to fix it. So I had done a sentiment here, and I had actually put sparkle on it, which you might be able to see a little. I don't know that you can see that very well. But it just didn't look right. And so I added another layer over it, and then I kind of liked the doubling up of the layers. It looked a little fun. And then I accidentally got a little ink over here, so threw a bird on it, and it works, right? And the inside of it has that happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything. And then this little guy, I just love that cute little sleeping bunny, but it felt like it needed a bit more, so I added a scene of butterflies just kind of flying up to the top. I had fun coloring those, and they do have some shimmer on them as well, which is kind of fun. It also has the happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything on the inside. I stamped it wrong the first time, so it's got a little circle, which sometimes is fun anyway. And then, so that's everything on these. Well, there's one more detail I'll show you in a moment. But that's it for the One Sheet Wonder. As you can see, you know, I did them both in the Copic and in very simple, just stamped images. It works for either. It's fun either way. And then I like to do a little image on the back of my stamps, and I have this cute little The End stamp. I only get to use it so often, but it's perfect for Easter. So thanks for watching, everyone. The End.